Hello, class. Good evening. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of effective communication in safety-related tasks, specifically as they apply to our aviation world. My name is Robert Hofer, and we'll jump into it. Starting off with a little comic here, guy going through the drawer while a person standing there injured, saying, "Didn't you read the health and safety guidelines? They're all here." And I thought it was funny because there's so much documentation, so much reading material. When you get to working for a different company, whether it's as an instructor for Part 121, Part 135, military flying, there's a lot of SOPs, TTPs, and ways that and huge safety programs with all sorts of various rules and regulations that the organization's going to expect you to follow. Um, However, it's impossible to read and know and always be able to apply all that. However, effective communication when it comes to safety, having a good baseline and understanding, and then acting on that will often, cover a lot of that material. So it all kind of starts and ends with communication. As I said just now, it all starts and ends. 80% of accidents involve some sort of some form of human error. And among those human errors is communication failure is often at the top, if not very close to the top. Communicating effectively ensures clarity, coordination, safety, and all of the operations that we do. So it's a really important topic. A couple incidences and examples I wanted to talk about. The first one is the Terra 1977 miscommunication led to 583 deaths. This was two Boeing 747s. One was operated by KLM, the other one by Pan Am. They collided on a runway at Los Rodeos Airport in the Canary Islands. There was a lot of fog that reduced the visibility, and there was miscommunication between the KLM captain and air traffic controller that caused the KLM aircraft to begin its takeoff roll without proper clearance. The second one, avionic flight 52 in 1990. This was a Boeing 707 from Colombia that was placed in a couple holding patterns near New York due to weather and traffic delays. Even though they were low on weather, they weren't declaring a fuel emergency. Instead, they were using the phrase they had fuel exhaustion, which was a non-standard phrase, and didn't trigger the urgency. And the last one's the Colgan Air 3407 from 2009. And this was miscommunication within the cockpit. The flight crashed on approach to Buffalo, New York. The captain and first officer failed to communicate effectively within the aircraft during a stall event. The captain's improper control inputs caused the aircraft to lose lift. And it was really just a breakdown in CRM and cockpit communication that led to this disaster. I brought up these three examples because it shows that communication is not just between you and another pilot. It's between you and your traffic control. It's between you and other pilots. It's really between you and your flight operations. It's really full faceted. So elements of effective communication. What does it look like? Clarity. Standard, we use that phrase a lot. We're going to keep a sterile cockpit, standard terminology when we're flying with unfamiliar people. Confirmation, readbacks, verifications. I'm in multi right now. The importance of, verifying that I'm pulling back the correct engine during an engine failure is really important. Conciseness, context, and CRM are the other three elements of effective communication. And then also just based on my own personal experience, I come from a military background where I flew helicopters. We operated as a crew, two pilots, often one or two crew members in the back. And what I found over my time in there is if you have the opportunity, and you don't always have the opportunity because sometimes you're working for the airlines and you're flying with different crews all the time, but if you have the opportunity to get to know your crew as people, from a leadership standpoint, because as a pilot, you are a leader, if you know what makes them tick, you can communicate with them effectively. I often, in the exact same situation, would speak to one crew chief in the back very differently than I would speak to another crew chief. Some people reacted well and quickly and efficiently to stern communication. Other ones needed a more gentle communication because we're all different and there's no one size fits all when it comes to effective communication. In instruction, as instructors, we model communication habits. Our students are going to learn by example, learn by observation. Our feedback should be clear and respectful, and encouraging dialogue really fosters that decision making. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Again, that's kind of the example from my military background that I went into. Christian character is reflected through effective communication. It promotes harmony, and this is important both in faith-based leadership as well as within aviation. In summary, miscommunication is a major threat. Effective communication, on the contrary, leads to that shared mental model. As instructors, we set the tone, and communication, we all have to understand, saves lives. Here are my references, and I appreciate your time.